Welcome ComixFam. The wait is over. The ultimate DC showdown is here. Every hero is throwing down to claim the title of King Omega. Yeah, that's what KO stands for. This is the event of the century that will go down in the pages of history and will rewrite history when the king arrives. Smash that subscribe button and let's fight for the throne. Long live King Omega. Chapter 1. Into the fire. The ultimate fight was about to erupt. Superman grinned, confident, cracking his knuckles. Tiny, furious suns blazing around them, bound by his cape. Each swing would hit like a solar storm, a dawn's day punch built to burn gods. As the massive gates creaked open, heat and thunder in the air, he squared his shoulders, ready to unleash hell. But then he froze. Eyes wide, he shouted, "What the hell?" Chapter 2. The Death of DC Universe. A week ago, Lois and Clark had invited Bruce and Diana. They laughed, played board games, and talked about family. But suddenly, everything went red. Darkseid had attacked. He had evolved. He was the universe-given form. He engulfed entire reality with his vicious Omega beams, and wherever he materialized, whatever he touched, it was corrupted at atomic level, making it a part of Darkseid's own being. Darkseid was now pure godliness, breaking all physical laws to exist everywhere, all at once. Gotham, Themyscira, Rock of Eternity, Oa. The heroes rushed to battle. Batman was the first one to be obliterated by an Omega beam. Then Wonder Woman died, and the third beam hit Superman. But before dying, Superman could hear all existence becoming one. In Darkseid, Chapter 3, The Secrets of DC K.O. revealed. Superman suddenly found himself in front of the Quantum Quorum, the visions of his death still fresh in his mind. Time Trapper explained that it was no vision. Darkseid's attack did happen, all of them actually died, so the Quorum used their chronal powers to rewind time by 7 days. Darkseid was heading from the future and would destroy everything in the present and then target the past. He was so powerful, nothing could be done. So the Quorum suggested a restart. The new universe would exist in a time pocket, like New 52, then would merge back into the main timeline. But everyone would forget their previous lives. Batman stopped them and wanted to know how Darkseid attained his ultimate avatar. World Forger showed them. The two most primal twin energies were Alpha and Omega. Alpha was the energy of creation. It flowed through all planets with life. Omega was the energy of conquest. The Time Trapper explained that at the core of Apocalypse lay a machine powered by Omega energy. It was the Omega Heart, the source of conquest, absorption, and control. When Darkseid discovered it eons ago, the machine chose him as its champion, transforming him into the being known throughout time as their greatest enemy. From that moment on, Darkseid's goal had been to reshape Earth, the universe's main source of alpha energy, into a new apocalypse. When he created his absolute universe, he placed the heart of Apocalypse at its core, allowing all Omega energy within that realm to flow directly into him, making him absolute. This transformation made him King Omega, the living embodiment of all Omega energy, a walking singularity that warped and reshaped everything around him. Chapter 4. Batman devises a plan. Time Trapper said that Earth was transforming due to Darkseid's arrival. The heart of Apocalypse was forming at its core. Batman stopped him and asked if that new Omega heart could be used to choose a new champion and make a new King Omega. Time Trapper said that the heart served Darkseid alone, but it could choose a new champion if it was restarted. Batman said that the Omega energy required for restart could be sourced by Booster Gold. He had accumulated enough Omega energy being trapped in the absolute universe. World Forger explained that the Omega Heart was a living, sentient force powered by conquest. If it were restarted, it would immediately seek out a champion, someone driven purely by domination and control. Because the heroes were motivated by hope and justice, the heart would see them as enemies and defend itself. He said it would do so by creating a massive fourth-dimensional tournament, each ring or stage presenting a higher level of challenge. The competitors wouldn't face parademons but each other, forced to fight until one ultimate conqueror remained. That victor would then have to defeat the heart itself. If anyone managed to prove worthy, the entire universe would bend to their will, and they would ascend as the sole celestial entity of that reality, rebooting the reality as they wished. But the warriors must feed the heart, becoming as Darkseid himself to win the contest. Superman denied to participate in such a contest. He wasn't hurting anyone. But Batman and Wonder Woman made him understand. Superman still remembered the time he died. He could hear every heartbeat becoming Darkseid's. And he couldn't let that happen. Chapter 5. 7 Days to K.O. In the next 7 days, the heroes prepared for war. Day 1, Mr. Terrific sent his T-spheres to lock the level 6 and 7 villains away in the Phantom Zone. Day 2, the heroes met with the world leaders and figured out a path forward. Day 3, they built arcs fitted with Brainiac tech, designed to protect everyone and evacuate the population if necessary. Day 4, the heroes spent time with their families. Day 5, they prepared for war. Batman summoned the Justice Buster 2 armor. Wonder Woman called forth her God-Killer sword. Cyborg activated a Father Box upgrade. And Superman fitted his knuckles with Dawn's Day. On the 6th day, it was time. Chapter 6. DC K.O. Begins. All the heroes reached the Skartaris Nexus, a passage to the Earth's core. Booster Gold unleashed his Omega energy straight at the Omega heart, giving it a cosmic heart attack. The heart was restarted. The blast briefly stopped the heart, only for a few hundred zeptoseconds, but it was enough. When it started beating again, the first thing it saw were the heroes charging toward it. To greet them, it granted each a miraculous vision, where they saw themselves win, but the vision faded to darkness. Each awoke at the arena gates, and the tournament had begun. At the arena gates, Superman roared, "What the hell?" as he dodged a thunderous blow that split the ground beneath him. 3 colossal gatekeepers emerged, their weapons dripping molten fire. Their booming voices declared that only those who survived the gauntlet would advance and earn the right to fight as true contenders. Billy Batson grinned, lightning crackling across his fingers. "Race you to the throne, Big Blue," Billy shouted. "Shazam!" But before the word finished, a gatekeeper's mace came down like a meteor, splattering Billy into the dirt. Superman's eyes flared red. He lunged forward, punching the giant's teeth clean off, shards of bone and blood spraying into the air. Then, blam! A rocket struck his back. He turned, fuming, to see Batman lowering his weapon. "Damn it, Clark," Batman growled through gritted teeth. "Head in the game." Superman knew he had to play it, like a game that everyone could win, as everyone had to collect enough Omega energy. So he stood his ground and cleared the path for the other superheroes to run the gauntlet and enter the game. The heroes ran, Damage jumped but landed on a booby trap. He was obliterated with an Omega blast. Next was Adam Strange, tore into pieces by the Omega Mind in the arena ground. Jay Garrick ran towards the end, but stepped on a wrong stone and triggered the arrival of the Omega Demons, Parademons brimming with Darkseid's energy. Green Arrow and several other heroes were shot down, while Harley, Red Hood, Wonder Woman fought on. Cyborg and Plastic Man held the ground, while Lobo handled a Omega Daemon. Ambush Bug was crushed by a giant. Other heroes passed through. Superman stood alone against the giants and monsters, fighting with his heat vision and raw strength. But then he noticed Batman hadn't crossed through. Batman shouted, "Clark, you have to stay focused." But before he could finish, a harpoon tore through his heart and came out of the front. A flag hanged at the end. Bang. Batman was mortally wounded. Joker did it. As Superman screamed in hurt, the supervillains lined up. Joker, Lex, Starro, King Shark, Cheetah, Giganta, Manta. They too had joined the game. Superman looked at Bruce one last time. Bruce whispered, "Remember what I said." Then his body withered away into ashes. Superman's fists curled as he charged forward, unleashing a sound that roared through his ears. Boom. 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 No one could tell what struck first, the Titans, the Omega Demons, or the heart itself. The blast tore through like suns splitting apart, but the force wasn't from breaking physics. It was the pounding of one heart, Superman's own. As he surged past every barrier, his heartbeat thundered louder than the cosmos. Finally, Superman crossed the finish line, claiming the last spot, and all around the fiery pits of Apocalypse, the sound echoed, singing his triumph. Chapter 7. The Champions of DC K.O. The lineup of 32 champions was finalized. Joker, Star Sapphire, Jay Garrick, Vixen, Connor Hawk, Etrigan, Superman, Cheetah, Hawkman, Lobo, Zatanna, Power Girl, Plastic Man, Batwoman, Starro, Big Barda, Lex, Harley, King Shark, Aquaman, Black Lightning, Supergirl, Firestorm, Damian Wayne, Black Canary, Captain Atom, Swamp Thing, Cyborg, Jason Todd, Guy Gardner, Metamorpho, and Wonder Woman. Chapter 8. Can the DC superheroes win? Who will become King Omega? The question echoed in the Omega heart. It knew that nobody would, because it knew that Darkseid had already sent his absolute horsemen to the contest to kill everyone. They were absolute Superman, absolute Batman, and absolute Wonder Woman. And moreover, the Omega heart knew that the champion was already among them. Darkseid, the King Omega himself. He was secretly pulling the strings of Quantum Quorum through Booster. As the Omega symbol shined in Booster Gold's eyes, the Omega heart whispered, "The war is already over." Rest assured, ComixFam, the war has just begun. This is just the first episode. We will be back with Batman Night Fight next, where you all get to see what happened to Batman after he died. Let us know your thoughts and wild fan theories in the comments box. Till then, keep buying comic books and stay absolute.